Hello again, everybody, and welcome into Panther Pride. It is the Week 3 edition. Jeff Smith, head coach of the Wellborn Panthers. I'm your host, Chad Barnett, joining you for a very happy episode here. Coaches, we're coming off the first win of the season. An amazing performance last Friday night. Homecoming against Pleasant Valley. You put up 60 plus.
Well, our kids came out ready to play, and we've been steadily getting better week to week, and we got better this week and really came out and started the game off well, and played hard for 4 quarters.
Coach, I think that everybody saw a very improved, very good football team against Glencoe. It was shown on the field, maybe not so much in the scoreboard at the end of the game, but we saw a lot of improvements. I think we also thought Pleasant Valley was going to be really good off their huge win over Weaver the week before. I don't know if anybody expected the score and the outcome the way maybe it was.
Well, we didn't, but now we don't get into trying to, see what the score is going to be every week. We felt like going from the Sachs game to the Glencoe game, we made a lot of improvement. Then we went from the Glencoe game, to the Pleasant Valley game, wanting to have an improvement, and we felt like we did. Now we've got to go to, from the next week from Pleasant Valley to Weaver and show, it has as much improvement as we did from, the Glencoe to Pleasant Valley, now from Pleasant Valley to Weaver.
What was the one thing that stuck out in your mind after watching the film and even during the game Friday night? What was the main thing that you could hang your hat on that this we did really well today?
I thought we played physical. I was real proud of that. I thought we came out of the opening kickoff. I think we came down the field real strong, and I thought we played physical the whole game, and that's Wellborn Panther football. I just felt like we were physical, and I think we flew around good and hustled hard, and it was just enjoyment to watch them.
Now, I guess the tricky thing is, you played Pleasant Valley last week, who had the win over Weaver. You guys look good against Pleasant Valley. Getting the kids and making sure they're still, motivated heading into this Friday night, knowing the history of the past 2 weeks and how that's played out.
Any given week, anybody can be beat. That's football. When contact is involved, anybody can be beaten. And Weaver didn't have a good game against Pleasant Valley. They had some turnovers, but then this next week they played Asheville and looked good and didn't have the turnovers and made some good runs. And Weaver's got some good athletes. Sure. And Coach Amby and his staff, they do a good job. And we're going to have to really work hard this week and keep on improving ourselves, to beat them. And that's our whole intention going into the game.
Of course, I think one of the main things, too, from Friday night, we've seen Piedmont do this over the past few years, and I know we talked a little bit about this last year. Anytime you can get the younger guys in a varsity action Friday night, really bodes well for your future and continuing what you guys built. That's what you were able to do.
That's right. Nothing beats game type experience. When you can get in a game and play, and especially game experience on Friday night. We play junior high and B team, every Monday. But it's a little different than when you can get out there on Friday night with a big crowd and the lights on. It's just it's a different feeling. And anytime that those kids can get out there and get used to that, it just makes them better in the future.
And not only in a regular Friday night game, but they got there in all the hoopla that surrounds homecoming as well. So they got to see even more, right? Well,
Friday was just a good day. We had a good parade. Before our pep rally, we had a tremendous pep rally. I thought that. Coach Erica Goodwin, she did a fantastic job heading that up for our pep rally and everything. It was really good. Then we got back to our regular schedule where we had a pregame meal and we rested a little while, and then we went up and played the game. And we had all the homecoming activities before the game with crowning the homecoming queen and all that, and had a good crowd. The band sounded good too. I just noticed them when they were coming into the stadium. They seemed like they had a little more pep in their step too, and it was just it was a good night. We had a good homecoming where none of the kids got hurt, and I'm not talking about on the field. I'm talking about off the field too. Everybody stayed safe this week, and the kids enjoyed it. And I thought it was really good for our school and community.
Everything handled well off the field and obviously on the field as well. Big win over the Pleasant Valley Raiders. We'll check out the highlights of that contest coming up next. You're watching Panther Pride right here on TV 24. Back to a happy Week 3 edition of the Panther Pride. Chad Barnett along with head coach of the Wellborn Panthers, Jeff Smith. Coach, An outstanding night for football. We talked a little bit about a lot of the area. You got a lot of bad storms and things kind of coming in and out. I know a lot of the places around the county, but you guys were spared for that, right?
And we were fortunate. Before the game, where you could feel, the air was real thick.
Yes.
And it was real cloudy, and we thought we was going to get some rain and some thunder showers, and fortunately it passed us, and we didn't have to have any kind of delays or anything like that. I understand there's a lot of our local teams were delayed several hours, to get their game in, but we wouldn't. Well, that wasn't the case for us, and we're happy that happened.
Let me ask you about that. Water in your offense, a lot of people think running the football, running in water, really it's okay, it doesn't matter. But you guys do a lot of different handoffs in your offense. Is that good or bad for you guys?
It don't matter. Rain don't bother us. The lightning does. And we don't. That's the thing right there. It starts popping. We won't get inside and not get it. But if it rains, we're good.
Gotcha.
We practice out in that, and we take a lot of pride in that.
Well, let's go to the highlights and check out and see how you guys did against the Pleasant Valley Raiders coming up here in just a moment. As you see, beautiful sky backdrop tonight on the hill. Just an awesome night for football.
It really was. I mean, and we take for granted the beautiful world we live in, and that was just a beautiful sky. Here's opening kickoff. We come down the field. We really buzz down the field right here, and Dakota King has a good tackle right there. We came out, and we're swarming to the football. Second play of the game, we get a turnover. It was number 5, Jamar Curry, is a freshman, really playing well for us. And Jordan Montgomery, we run our double handoff, and he runs the ball down to about the 3-yard line.
Jordan has gotten a lot of looks in this offense this year.
Yeah, we can do a lot with him. That's Kevin Mixon scoring a touchdown. Jordan's very versatile. We can use him as a receiver, as a back, and a defensive back, and he can play a lot of different positions.
So you missed the extra point, but a good start to the game here and more defense for your team.
Well, right there, Tyler got good penetration, and Jamar took the dive on the option here, and then we get the ball back, and here we ran a little inside counter play ourselves right here with DJ Roden, and it works well. And here's a nice throw and catch right here to land into Corey, and Corey Tiedner, I've really bragged on him a lot because he's really improved a lot here. Here comes Kevin down here. We outflanked them there and ran a sweep and got it in here for us. And here we come in here, 2-point conversion right here, and Kevin bullies his way in there and gets it to 14-0.
The back all square. It just seems like there was a lot of contact by your defense in the backfield.
Right. Well, we did some things to try to get that to happen right there. And then again, here we go. We got another nice run here and get it down here to about the 6-yard line. Running in here, landing, runs a bootleg in and gets in right there, and it's hard to stop him. He's a load. And then, of course, we get it in here and get the 2-point play, and now it's 22-0 right there, and we've got that game at hand.
So you're feeling pretty comfortable with what you're seeing right now, but this is a good back you're facing.
Well, that and Coach Davis calls good plays. Now he's smart and patient and been around the game a long time, and he don't hit the panic button, and he called a good drive right here, and of course we stopped him there before he got in the end zone. He fumbled it forward, and we didn't get on the ball, and they scored. But we came back and responded right here. That was a great block. If you saw Corey Tiedner right there on the double handoff, that was our pancake block this week. And then of course that's DJ right there coming down through there on our trap play, and then right here, then Kevin takes this and gets it down here about inside the 4 or 5, and then Landon runs quarterback sneak and gets it in.
Just tough physical play, typical Wellborn football.
Right.
And then you get the 2-point conversion again.
Absolutely.
To take a big lead.
Absolutely. And that, gets the game to 30-7 right there. And, what we're trying to do is get the game ahead enough so that we can get all the young guys in, let them play. You see our defense swarming to the ball and really making good contact. And YTO DJ Roden, he the last 2 weeks he's really came out there and played hard on defense and offense right there. It didn't show it, but in the first half he ran a kick-out block on a sweep play that we ran. It was as good a lick as we've had this year.
Better than Corey's earlier? That was pretty
it wasn't better than that, but it was as good a lick as we've had this year, and it was a shot. And we, everybody on our sideline, we saw that, and we was just, very happy for him to do that.
Go back to the point. You guys are up 22-0. Things are looking really good. Then Pleasant Valley, uses that big bruising back they got in Bean to get down there for the score. They make it 22-7. How important was the drive in the big scheme of things of this contest to get right back down the field and put 8 more on the board?
Well, we had to answer it. We were up 22-0. They came down, scored. Now they're in the game. Now we've got to go back and answer it and get them back out of the game, and we did. And proud of the kids for doing that. So it's 37, and now we went in at halftime. And we tell our kids then is, now look, we want to go out there and get a good score and get them stopped a couple of times, and let's let everybody play in the game. So that's what we did at halftime. We basically went in there and reinforced some technique and went over some blocking rules, and talked to the young guys about getting them in so that they could get some play.
What's the interaction between the older guys and the younger guys in that context? Is there just a desire not only just to win the game but to get them in? Do your older players feed on that? Do they want to get the younger players in?
I think so. I mean, our team's close, and we've always been like that. The older guys help the younger guys, and try to when the younger guys are in, they try to help them out and tell them, give them hints of what's going on out there, and help reinforce their blocking assignments and their technique on defense.
Well, it looked well for both the older and younger coming up in the second half. We'll check out the highlights when we come back, plus a little look at the band from homecoming night last Friday night on the Hill. Stay with us. We'll look at the Wellborn Panther band on the Hill last Friday night during homecoming. Coach, part of the
they do a good
atmosphere,
job.
right?
They really do a good job, and you know what? They sound so good, and our fight song is almost there. And I tell you what, anytime you hear it, it gives you chills. So especially our alumni and our former players. It's very distinct fight song, and our band plays it really well, and I'm very, very proud of all of them too. They really get into it and get into the game, and they do a good job.
So in the time that they're out there getting the fans entertained during halftime, you're in the locker room talking to your team. At this point, with a 30-7, is there anything schematically that you're talking about that maybe you didn't like in the first half that you're going to try and improve in the second half?
Well, they did hit a couple of inside plays on us right there that we had to adjust to. Every time at halftime, there's something to adjust. Football's a game of breakdowns. Every offensive play is designed to score. And the reason it don't score is because somebody broke down. So you have to fix that. And then the same thing on defense. You don't draw a defense up that won't stop them. So you got to go back and reinforce the technique and make sure you got the people in the right places.
And I imagine that's a little bit tougher because Bean's a good running back. His older brother was a good running back. They got a long line there, and certainly with capable running back and a capable quarterback. How come you guys were so successful on defense Friday night?
We were physical. Football again is still a simple game. If I hit you, I win. And I felt like we were physical, and we went out there and we hit and we gang tackled, and everybody ran to the football, and it was good.
Let's check out the second half highlights of the Hill on homecoming night as the Raiders are up and they try a little trickery here to start the second half.
Well, actually, they missed the ball, and it ended up onside kick, and we actually had talked about that at halftime about them coming out with an onside kick, and they got on it, and of course they heaved the ball down the field the first play after they had it right there, and we had an interception. It's Quindarius Moore, who's a junior and has really worked hard and earned him a position. One time during the summer, he seemed a little discouraged. I said, Quindarius, if you'll just hang in there and work hard, good things will happen, and it did for him, and he's ended up being a starting corner for us and just got an interception for a touchdown. And here you see Jordan bring the ball in on a double handoff, and it's 38-7 really to start the game off.
And that was the moment, I think, in really which you probably thought, okay, we're probably going to get our kids in this one.
Yes, we wanted to get out there and stop them right here, and we had this one last drive here, boom, right there. That was the play I was telling you did at the break where Corey caught that drag pass and turned it up right there and really was physical with it. And then here, Kevin runs it on in right here and scores. And now the game's at hand right there, and we kick an extra point. And then that's going to be it for the offensive starters right there. It's 45-7 right there, and that's enough. And we need to start getting some of these young guys in, and here they come. Right here is Jamarian Curry. He's a freshman, plays defensive end, but he's also our backup fullback. Here, right here, I think it's him running it again. He runs real hard, real strong. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here comes Pat Harris right here, and he's got a long line of family members that's played out here at Wellborn too.
We go to the fourth quarter now.
Fourth quarter, still got all the young guys in right here. There's Dylan Grubbs making a tackle. Here he is getting him again from behind here. Dylan, Corey Shaddix, a lot of our young guys in here playing. Here's Jamiron running the fullback trap again right there and running hard, and we took him out after that play too and inserted another fullback. And that's here comes Pat again right there, and he came in there and ran the buck sweep. And here comes right here Javion Thomas right there. He had a lot of family members who played at Wellborn, and here comes Pat getting it in here on the score.
Your young kids come in there and are able to get in the end zone. That's got to feel really good for them folks.
It does, and they were excited about it, and they got about a quarter and a half in, and there's Austin McQueen taking the knee to it, and again he comes from a long line of players. I mean, family members that's played at Wellborn too.
So it's a family affair, and Wellborn wins 61-7. Everybody's happy on the hill.
Absolutely.
Coach, what did you see out of the younger guys that you really liked? Anybody in particular that stood out?
Well, they're hungry and they want to do well. And we had a really good junior high last year, and they're up that now, and they've come up on the B team. We hadn't been able to keep them intact on the B team because some of them were playing on Friday night. And if you start on us on Friday night, we're not going to put you out there on the B team on Monday just because of risk of injury. And so they're. Right now, our B team is a little broken up because some of them are helping us on Friday night instead of staying there on Monday night right there. But, by next year, they'll all come back together.
Let's talk about one player in particular, just somebody that I've kind of picked up on these last couple of weeks that has really made a huge step. And I know you mentioned it before as well. Corey Tigner has been phenomenal,
he
Coach.
has.
And really not just by talking about it, he passes the eye test. When you walk out on the field, you notice him, you notice the way he moves, the way he runs. He seems to be putting together a full package.
Well,
here.
he works so hard, and Corey, when we first got Corey, he was going into 10th grade, hadn't played football in several years. I mean, actually hadn't played since he played youth football. And, he was in the weakest weight group we had, and he got in there and got to working. And we played him in B team games. Actually, it was Pleasant Valley in a B team game a couple of years ago. I said, Corey, I tell you what, I'm gonna put you at defensive end tonight. And that was on the bus on the way over there. and he goes, defensive end? I said, yeah, just get down there and play defensive end. And so he just got down there and played defensive end and didn't know any technique. All I did was show him where to line, how to get in his stance and line up. And he played real good that night, just raw. And then we started working him, and he got better on defense. And then we got him where he could, at receiver, he got to where he could catch the ball better. And then we started working him at tight end, and now we use him as a tight end, a flex receiver, a defensive end, and he helps us on all the special teams. It's really not anything we asked of him that he can't do, and we're very proud of him for that. And he's one of the hardest working guys we have on the team. He always wants to do extra and stay after practice and do more, watch extra film. He's always trying to improve his game, and we're very proud of him and excited about him this year.
That's what happens, folks. When talent meets hard work, you find a player that has drastically improved in just a couple of years, and really one of the reasons why you're sitting here with a win on Friday night. Coach, we'll talk about the week coming up. The Weaver Bearcats on the slate. We'll talk about that contest when we come back. You're watching Panther Pride. Following a win last week against Pleasant Valley on the Hill for homecoming, you guys, Coach, now have to take on the Weaver Bearcats, who have a lot of talent. We've seen over the past couple of years, been a pretty good contest for you guys over the years.
Every game we play with them is tough. It comes down to a touchdown or a extra point or something like that with them, and that's been the case for the last 4 years. So we expect nothing less. They're going to come to the game, and they're going to play hard for 4 quarters, and they're going to try to get after us, and we're going to try to get after them.
What do you notice about this team? Because I know they've had a changeover at quarterback. They've got a different look a little bit. Don't have Timothy Hawkins, who's graduated. What does this team look like so far? Have you had a chance to see him on film yet?
Well, they're just, they lost a lot of, what we say it. They had a lot of seniors last year that had some strong personalities on their team. You know, when they lost those kids, and now you have kids that have to replace those kids, and now they're fighting for their identity too. So you know, the leaders will emerge, and you know. That's what's going on at Weaver now. They've got talent, and they showed it this past week with their big win over Asheville. They just, you know, got to have those kids that have been the backups now step up and be the leaders on the team.
Do you have a little bit of extra knowledge of this team because you've basically watched them on film the last 2 weeks? You saw them against Pleasant Valley, and then you now see them getting ready for your game.
I watched them against Pleasant Valley, but I was watching Pleasant Valley. I wasn't paying attention to Weaver as much as I was Pleasant Valley. But you know, I was able to watch them this weekend already, and and we're breaking them down, you know, Saturday and Sunday, and getting ready for the game, and we can pay more attention to them at that time. Look, they got some good talent on the team. I think Coach Hamby does a good job with those kids out there, and I feel like that they'll be a very formidable opponent against us Friday, and we're going to really have to play well to beat them.
How you guys looking health-wise? Everything good so far?
Feel pretty good after the game. You know, when they left, of course, they was all wanting to go to the homecoming dance, so they all, you know, if they had something nicked up on them, they wasn't going to hang around and tell us about it. So, you know, we'll know more. We'll know more Sunday about any if we had any injuries that show up and everything. And if we do, we'll take care of those and move forward.
Did you go to the dance? Did you get out there?
No, I don't do that. No. My last dance was in 1987. That's where it's going to stay.
Gotcha. So if you came back out there, probably be the same moves. And little robot.
If I went back out there, my 14-year-old daughter would have a stroke, so I'm not going back out there. So.
Well, just for the safety of her and for your back and everything else, probably be a wise decision.
That's it.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. Congratulations on the win last Friday night, and good luck coming up this Friday night against Weaver.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate you a lot.
Not a problem. That is going to do it for this week's edition of Panther Pride right here on TV 24. Don't forget to check in next week where Gerard Mathangani will be sitting in for myself with Coach Jeff Smith, talking all about the Weaver hopefully win coming up this Friday night. I don't know if I said it or not, but it is. All right, so we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.